All right, today we're talking about identity and how identity is how you change. You want a timeline hop? You want to become a new person? You want to see different results in your life? The root of it all, identity. If you don't shift your identity into a completely new identity, you're cooked. You're going to see the same patterns showing up in your life. And that's not what you want. Because between you and me, we both know that there's a version of you that's doing more. There's a version of you that's actually accomplishing things you want to accomplish. And so sometimes you have to be real with yourself and to take a step back. And sometimes, pain and suffering are elements that are required for you to experience in order to need to change. And so that's what you're here to do. That's what you're on a mission to do. You have to be real with yourself. You have to be clear enough with yourself to know deep down, okay, cool. There's something that is holding me back. And this thing that is holding me back actually might be a part of my current identity. And as much as I identify with this thing that's holding me back, like, it's not useful for where I'm going. In fact, it is less than not useful. It is harmful. It is hurting me in my walk, me in my trajectory. And so, what do you do about it? Well, in my very personal and professional opinion, the single greatest, most effective tool that I have come to know is the most effective for reprogramming identity or reprogramming the subconscious, which is exactly what my app does and has been doing. It's exactly why I built the app. Hypnosis and hypnotherapy. These are the most effective tools in the marketplace. We can dive into this. I'll dive into this on another video. But what a lot of people don't understand is how the mind works, how the mind is programmed. A lot of people don't understand that the brain is a computer, okay? And it is running automatic programs. Matter of fact, 95% of your day is simply determined by a series of automatic programs that are in your subconscious that are just launching in response to external stimuli. And the issue with this in most people is that most of the programs that are automatically launching in response to external stimuli, most of these programs have been formed between the ages of 0 and 8. So people are running childhood programs when it comes to managing relationships, managing their emotions, their relationship with money. This is why in a lot of self-help and self-development, and especially like spiritual self-help domains, there's healing of the inner child that needs to take place. Now the thing is, what a lot of people don't understand about this, the thing is that this doesn't work like it's a fucking problem, okay? If you think about your psychology like it's a problem, then you are not in the right brainwave state to change. You have to be in a theta state in order for suggestions to actually... I need a water bottle to explain this. Okay, let's say that this water bottle was your subconscious mind. Right now, if you're in a beta brainwave state, aka if you're in your logical, analytical mind, problem solving about the psychological problems that you have and being psychoanalytical, you're in a state where you can't even access your subconscious mind because there's a filter. There's a thick-ass filter. But when you enter a deep state of contemplative prayer, when you enter a state of hypnosis or trance, when you enter a state of like guided, like deep meditation, it's a state called hypnagogia, which is where the term hypnosis derives from, okay? It is a deep state of theta. And when you enter a deep state of theta, the filter between your conscious and your subconscious mind, called the critical factor, it becomes thinner. When it becomes thinner, that means it's more malleable. When it's more malleable, it means that it is more receptive to suggestion. When you are more receptive to suggestion, I'm talking about your subconscious mind is in a proper state to be reprogrammed. If you don't enter into this state before reprogramming your subconscious mind, then all of the new programs that you want to install are just gonna fucking bounce off of the filter, and they're not actually going to install into your programming, aka your identity. Does this make sense? You can't shift your identity if you're not in the proper state to do it. This is what so many people do not understand about psychology and how to change your life, change your mind, change your identity. Identity is a very, very useful tool, because whether you're aware of it or not, you have an identity. Whether you are aware of it or not, you have an identity. Even if you claim not to, you have an identity. Now, there's a spiritual world out there. I'm talking about psychologically, the practical world. You have an identity. Your identity is your future self. And you... There's a lot of different ways to view this, okay? But I'm going to keep it very simple. I'm going to say this. Identity is the root, and behaviors come from that. So if you view yourself as a smoker who's trying to stop smoking, then you're going to count the days that you haven't smoked a cigarette. You're going to count the days that you haven't smoked weed. But if your identity shifts at the root, you're a non-smoker, boom. Now, why are you counting days? There's no point in you counting days, because you'll never smoke again. I don't know how many days it has been since I have stopped drinking alcohol. That's because my identity has shifted. I am not somebody who drinks alcohol and, who's trying to stop. No. As far as I'm concerned, in a deep spot in my subconscious mind, the identity that I have down, it is simply someone I just don't drink. That's just not who I am. This is coming from someone who's woken up on the sidewalk 3 times at a minimum in his life from over-consuming on a night out, and one of those nights was on the sidewalk in Mexico. Okay, so when it comes to shifting identity, this can happen, and it can happen in a radical way if you wanted to, if you're open to it, and if you do it in the correct and right way. If you have the proper tools to facilitate this. But if you want to try to, there's a bunch of ways that people try to change their mind, or think they can will their way. You're fucked. You're cooked. You don't stand a chance. 95%. Run the numbers. What do the numbers look like? 95% compounding every single day of your life. You think sheer will stands a chance? You think your conscious mind stands a chance against the automatic programs that are just launching in response to external stimuli? So the objective that I came across 10 years ago was, hey, is there a possibility, is there a way that I can reprogram my subconscious mind? And if there is there a way that I can do this such that my subconscious mind is optimal? Such that the calculations that are automatically being launched in response to external stimuli, the automatic programs are of high quality calculations, of high quality discretion. How accurate are the calculations of the automatic programs? How quick is it? And then you get into a flow state, that I'm talking. You think that I wrote this script before I came on here? You think that the energy, you think that the value that I would be able to deliver could possibly be captured if I pre-recorded a script? You got me fucked up. I'm riding the wave of the present moment. This is where real beauty lies. And there's this intensity, but also this peace. There's this presence. It's not ego. In fact, it's beyond ego. It's transcendental. It's right here, right now. It's this wave of tapping into the ether. I am literally channeling from the ether, and I'm in flow. There's a state that you're tapped into without you even having to try. Okay? I'm not trying. I'm doing. I'm simply being. And this is me just putting labels on something to kind of be a signpost towards what this shit is. Because if you know, you know. There's something in your life that you are capable of tapping into that's just like this, if you are not already. Matter of fact, this is, and look, this is just like, this is years and years and years of studying. And like applying and learning and applying, learning and applying and learning and applying and seeking and learning and applying. And here we are. Here we are. So, with that being said, I think that this is cool. I think that this is cool because, well, you're early. You and I both know that you're early here. Because when you look at me, when you see this energy, when you intake this energy between you and me, is there not clearly an edge here? And if your answer is no, then I would simply question the quality of your discretion. You and I both know. We all know. We all know that there's signal coming from this entity. And do you think that I'm going to sit around and wait to find out if I'm wrong? Do you think I'm going to sit around and wait to find out if you're right? You know, assuming you are somebody who doesn't have discretion. But like I said, we all know. You and I both know. So like, let's hold hands and skip our way to the finish line. What do you say? Okay, I'm gonna let you go. Big love. Thanks for being here. Cultivate, innovate, elevate. You see where this comes from. You see where this comes from. You feel where this comes from. And hopefully it inspires and brings you into the place that I'm able to tap into, because it's magnificent. Word. Keep your nose clean, folks. Peace.